Hello and welcome back. I'm Bo,
And I'm Win.
and we are trying to survive the summer with separate bank accounts.
And it's looking better every week.
Yes. We're feeling good about it. But this is going to be our budget calendar setup. I know we haven't recorded one of these before, but I think it's actually honestly, it's what we base all our budgets on. So it actually makes sense to record it. Okay, let's get into it. So our August, because we're paycheck budgeters, our August is actually July 26th to August 22nd. So we are only going to worry about which bills are due during that period, which is why the calendar matters. So the first that comes up for when, oh, actually, just kidding. We should start with pay. So let's go with his pay. And her pay. And then and that's on the 26th. And then on the 9th, we're going to go with his pay, her pay. And then for other things coming in, his interest comes in on the 3rd. So his interest.
Now, real quick, one of the things that you have done traditionally is divide your paycheck in half so that it lines up with mine. Is that something that's relevant during the summer?
No, it's not something that's relevant at all anymore because I just delayed my pay instead of splitting it up.
Okay, sorry about that.
So our paychecks aren't actually like on the date anymore because it's old paychecks that we're bringing into the current budget.
Because we've gotten a month ahead.
Yes.
And we're able to do that now.
Yes.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter really when I got paid or when you got paid because it all comes into the budget at the same time. So anyway, next is, now that we have what's coming in, we need what's going out. So on the 1st, we have rent.
Boo.
Correct. And then also on the 1st is not just kid bills. It's one of kid bills, but kid insurance. And then the other kid bill is every week, every Friday is kid copay. And if this is helpful to you, let me know and let me know how you might have done it differently. But kid copay, and sorry, this last one is going to be out of sight, but it's there, right?
Promise.
So 16th, kid copay. Okay, so that's all the kid bills. And then next we have internet. And internet is on the 5th. So internet. And then S&M collections is on the 7th.
It's getting smaller.
Yep. And then the heating bill is on the 20th. So down here. Heating. And student loans is also on the 20th. And electric is on the 25th, so we are not going to count that because this budget ends on the 22nd, this month. Then we get to my bills, my subscriptions really. So YouTube is on the 1st.
Let's be very real. This house would not run the same without Netflix.
Correct.
Provides a vital public service.
Yes. Okay, so Netflix on the 7th. And then car wash is on the 13th.
Go ahead, if you feel like it, let us know What subscriptions do you feel like are a vital public service for you
Oh my
that
goodness.
you wouldn't give up?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Now we have those, but also there is the subscriptions. So for this month, try to get this all in view here. So for this month, I have, what is this, August? So in August, we have Google One on the 1st. So that is that's like a storage subscription. So Google, and the 1st is getting real full.
There's a lot going on.
So Google One, and then, registration. I don't know when I'm going to pay registration, so I don't want to put that on the calendar because it's not like a set due date. I just have to pay it like before September. So like I might just pay it in the first paycheck after the 22nd. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But either way, it's going to come out of savings, so that's okay. And then when are we going to do back to school shopping? Because that needs to be done this month because school starts on the 26th, but we don't want to go shopping like the weekend before because there probably won't be anything left in the stores, to be perfectly frank. So when would you like to go back to school shopping?
See, long day with them. I'd like to go
Long weekend?
Long weekend. I'd like to go the 11th.
The 11th? Okay.
Yeah. It's closer to the front of the month. We've got them for the long weekend. Yeah.
School shop. Okay. So that is the basics of our month being set up. Now we get to make it colorful.
It's
Very
all
exciting.
Pretty. It's gonna be pretty.
Yes. So the way we do it is anything that could be either of our bank accounts, we just put his or her in front of it, but it's the same color. So pay, all our like inflow is going to be green.
Yeah, buddy.
We specify in words whose bank account it is. So his pay, her pay, and then his pay, her pay, and his interest is all green. And then his spending is blue. So kid copay is blue.
Rent.
And yes, rent and kid insurance and kid copay, of course.
S&M.
S&M, yep.
Kid copay.
Yep.
School shop. I believe.
Nope. School shopping is coming from savings. So that's a different color.
Watch out.
And then kid copay.
And then
And
heating.
student loan and heating.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and internet. We didn't say internet. Okay. So that is all blue. And then my spending, not counting Google because Google is a subscription, so that's coming out of savings. But we have YouTube. It's coming out of my checking, and Netflix, and car wash. And then anything that's coming out of savings is going to be yellow. So Google is me. Actually, I should probably specify on here. I was planning on doing that, but we're just gonna put our initials. So that's B for Bo, and then this is W for win.
Very cool.
So that we know we know whose bank account is coming out of, but so y'all know. And so it's clear later. Okay. So that is the coloring. And then from this, now that this is all colorful, then it's easier to come up with the paycheck budgets, because you know what's coming out and what's going into each paycheck budget. it makes it a lot easier as far as, as far as I believe. And I got this from the Budget Mom. This was from the Budget Mom's Budget by Paycheck workbook. I mean, you can use any calendar, but I got the idea of putting everything on a calendar and then also tracking my expenses. She tracks her expenses like more on a spreadsheet, but I like looking at it on the calendar. And she also writes it on the calendar. I think it's easier to see like where we're spending and what's happening when I look at it on a calendar. I'm pretty visual, so.
Which makes it an excellent reference tool, to go back to.
Yes, when you're looking at it later, when you're trying to figure out what happened, it's easier than just looking at a list.
Now, would this be a good time to pull one of our previous calendars and show a quick side-by-side of what it looks like when we're getting it ready versus when it's actually used?
I mean, we can.
Can we pause?
Sure.
Studio magic?
I don't think it's that serious. Well, yeah. Okay. Okay, so scratch that. We talked about it while it was paused and decided just to go through the key because we honestly don't do that enough. We usually just show it next to the calendar. But this little cheat sheet just shows which color things end up being in the calendar. So as I said, this is according to bank accounts. So inflow could be either of ours. That's why we start with his or hers. Investments could be either. We're not investing right now, but
summer's hard.
Well, we want to get your debt down first.
Yeah.
And then so investments, once we get to it, it'll say his or hers before it because that's the same color. And then his spending is his checking account. His savings is his saving account. Her spending, that's my checking account. Her saving, that's my savings account. And then savings spent is money coming out of either of our savings accounts. And that's why we do the specifying whose account it comes out of. I mean, technically, we could do more specification and like have his inflow a different color and his investments a different color and his savings spent a different color, but
that's a lot.
Yeah, that would mean I'd have to get a bigger pack of colored pens, and that's expensive.
And the whole point of this is to be on a budget.
Yes. So speaking of which, I would also have to get more colors of highlighters, but the reason why there's these highlights is because these are the 4 categories that actually go on the budget calendar, so they're highlighted. So inflow goes on the budget calendar, his spending goes on the budget calendar, her spending goes on the budget calendar, and savings spent goes on the budget calendar because those are budgeted items, and those are highlighted on as far as like where they come into the budget. So I decided that those would be the highlighters, the highlighted ones that I use. And it's kind of unfortunate that savings spent is in red writing, but yellow highlighter. But that is because red highlighter, I've never found a red highlighter. Certainly that would probably be at like a specialty store or something. And we don't got monies for that.
And if you write in yellow, it's hard to see.
Yes. But you can see yellow highlight. So that is how we went. Also, if we did have a red highlighter, it would probably look too similar to the pink highlighter. I don't know. But that is the calendar setup and the color coding according to our bank accounts so that we can keep track of what is coming in and going out of each of our bank accounts because we do not share funds. So I think that's it.
Yeah.
Let me know if it helped you. I love you. I appreciate you.
And as always, budget beats broke every time.
Never forget that you deserve financial stability. I hope you have a great day on purpose. Bye.